Our first idea for our opening sequence is to do a prom night film and show people getting ready in the coming of age genre. But then after watching different previous students' final sequences, we decided to add the subgenre of horror. We got ideas from things like Pretty Little Liars in the Dollhouse episodes and Skins episodes, which were kind of horror, like showing the forest and different techniques of how to make it more effective.
We haven't thought of any names for our film yet, but we've played around with different typography and looked up other horror films and what sort of typography they use to see which fonts and colours we would use for our credits and titles.
For the age certificate, we decided to make it a 15 because that's what most horror movies are and what most coming-of-age films are.
Also, it's a 15 because it will show like clips of some images which young children might not like graphic wounds and blood as well. For the location, we thought that the present part of the opening sequence will be filmed in somewhere eerie, like a forest or a wood. But then as there's flashbacks as well, it will be like filmed in a house and walking down a road to go home.
There'll be two main characters in our opening sequence who wake up in the forest, and then in the flashbacks we'll have background characters to be like at the party and things like that. And then we're debating whether to have a character who you don't see but you see their point of view, as in watching the protagonists and what happens, to make it more eerie and effective.
With the fashion, we decided to put the main character in regular clothes from the night before, as they'd woken up in a wood, so they obviously didn't have time to change. With the makeup, we need to create cuts and wounds with blood. We googled lots of images of how to do this, and we already have the makeup in order for it to be done.
For the narrative of our film, we haven't really decided one for the whole film, as we didn't want to confuse ourselves and try and add too much stuff into our opening sequence. But mainly it's for them waking up in a wood and not knowing where they are or how they got there, so trying to figure that out and get out of the situation they're in. We're using flashbacks to reveal parts of the narrative, but we don't want to give too much away, so most of it will be set in one place.
The audience will be people aged 15 and above because that's the age certificate we gave it, and it will also link to the people in the film, as they will be around the same age, so the audience feels like they can relate more to what's happening in the sequence.
We looked at a couple of institutions which would distribute our film, and we found that there's distribution things like Lionsgate, Twisted Pictures, Rogue Pictures and Blumhouse, which usually distribute horror films.